Dr. Berceli, thank you very much for being here. It's a great honor for all Romanians to have you here.
Oh, thank you. That's a wonderful invitation. I appreciate it.
We will talk a little bit also about your famous book.
Okay.
The revolutionary process to free trauma, stress, and tension from the body.
Mm-hmm.
In Romanian, TRE.
Yes.
TRE, okay. This is a guide of somatic exercises
Right.
to use not only by professionals, but also
Right.
by me and by anybody
Yeah.
willing to get rid of the tension from the body and consequently from the mind.
Right.
What is fascinating about this practice is that people all over the world said, finally, we are using the connection between spirit, body, and mind.
Right.
We'll not only talk about
Right.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go a bit deeper into this thing. Why is
Okay.
it so useful not only to talk about the trauma, but also to get rid of it from the body?
Okay. We have to reconceptualize, change our concept of what it is to be human. This organism, I call it, the brain, the imagination, and the physical structure all work as one process. There's no such thing as me affecting you just psychologically or just physically or just emotionally or spiritually. That's an impossibility. The organism is completely integrated. And so when we're talking about reducing stress or anxiety or trauma, we're talking about we have to do it in the collective manner in which it was received. There's no such thing as just a psychological trauma or just a physical trauma or even just a spiritual trauma. You know, somebody's belief system is altered. That does not exist. The whole of you, the whole of your humanity is affected by each of those individual parts. So all three have to collectively be brought together again in order to reduce the stress, tension, and anxiety.
Why did it take psychotherapists so long to understand that we are not made by slices? There is a slice called body, the slice called optionally the belief and the spiritual part, and the mind is not the sovereign of it all.
Right. There's a long historical understanding of this, but basically when Freudian psychology got introduced into the 1800s, we started with Freud, we started to try to understand things, and then we started dismissing the body because we thought, well, this has nothing to do with my story. And what happened was, as we began to study the brain more and more in medical science, we became more precise. This thing and that thing. And the same thing we did with the body. We have a specialist for your shoulders, a specialist for your hips, specialist for your feet. So we segmented the whole of the human person, and we forgot to bring it all back together again. So we have specialists that deal with individual parts, and that's where our medical system currently still stands. You go to an eye doctor specialist.
And your liver will suffer
and
after,
you're
but
exactly
the eye
right.
will be fixed.
Right, exactly right. Yeah.
Okay, but it took a long time. And you declared in an interview, I laughed a lot at that line you said, why did it have to be me asking the question?
Right, yeah.
Have you found the answer to this? Why was it you?
No, I haven't found the answer, but the question itself was, why did I perceive something that medical science has not yet either seen or appreciated? Because it still doesn't exactly appreciate it. And the only reason is because I lived in war, and when I was living in war, and I'm a psychologist, none of this that I knew was effective at all. It could not help people surviving bombs or shootings or losing their children or husbands. And I had to see the suffering of humanity from a completely different perspective. And what I saw was that the human body is designed to survive. And I began seeing its survival mechanisms, which completely shattered my psychological training because it wasn't in there. And so I had to relearn everything from the bottom up again.
But to allow the body to heal itself, we have to get out of the way.
Yes.
And this is your brilliant idea.
That's the hard one.
How do we get out of the body to allow it to heal brilliantly?
Right, okay. So getting out of the way is a kind of comical thing for all of us, okay? We are afraid to let go. We're afraid to give in. We're afraid that our body is going to do something that I'm not in control of. But we're trained from society. Control your body. Sit still. Don't fidget. Even in school, don't cry. Exactly. And what we realize, or what I've come to realize, is that the human organism in which we live, it pulsates. And it needs to contract and be controlled. And it needs to expand and be let go of control. And this is our happiest state, when we can move like this, in and out of control and out of control, exactly like a wave. We're designed that way. And our problem is, and society teaches us, we get stuck. So we get stuck in this state, and we've lost the ability to let go, so that when it actually does start to pulsate and let go, we actually get scared. See, we're not sure, what's it going to do? How is it going to let go? And what I'm talking about here is that we are designed genetically. We have a mechanism in our body which these exercises activate to help the letting go be more easy and controllable.
Yeah, this is a very brilliant thing, because specialists in spirituality are saying that we can find God in the pause between two breaths.
Oh, that's very good, yes.
So that's the moment where we can let go and let him do the job.
Right, exactly. That pause is really important. You're talking about we expand and pause for a second, and then we contract and pause for a second, and expand and contract. And we have to meet both of those pauses. And the bigger we can meet them, meaning the more we can expand and the more we can contract, the more we feel like we are inhabiting our true self.
Okay, but we have to learn to let go.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Because we are wired since a very, very young age that control is everything. And if we don't think, if the mind is out of the way, there is danger.
Yeah.
And it takes us a long time to do that.
Yeah.
How does your method help us to make it shorter?
Okay, so this is tricky now. We have to go around the ego, because the ego is what wants to control, see? So we got to figure a way around it. But what's really surprising, it's actually quite simple to go around the ego if you go from the body. So watch this. This is going around the ego. If you were sitting here and you started to get scared, we might see your hand shaking like this, see, holding the microphone, okay? Yeah. Well, that's already going around the ego, because you don't want your hand to shake. You don't want people to see it, but your nervous system is saying, no, I need to discharge. You're too excited. You're holding up too much energy. I got to let it go, and it starts to shake.
Either from the hand or from the voice.
Or the voice as well. Or if you're standing, it'll come from the knees. See? And so that's already the nervous system taking control of the ego, saying, you're holding on too tight. It's not helping me. I'm going to shake out some of this stress. Okay. So that's what we do with the exercise. We actually activate that nervous system reaction.
Oh, that's great. So I will have to learn this exercise so that next time I'll be nervous to stop holding on
exactly
the chair.
Right. So that's the whole point. See, when we get nervous and the body starts to discharge, we immediately try to control and contract it, which is the opposite of what the body is inviting us to do, is, just let go, relax. But we don't have a narrative in our culture that says shaking is good. Our narrative is it's bad, it's wrong, you're weak, you're vulnerable, you're weird. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So imagine a medical model that says something so natural to the human body, like shaking off stress. There's something wrong with that. And in our system in the United States, they will medicate people to stop the shaking, which is the very opposite of what the body needs.
Are we talking about Parkinson's or another type of shaking?
No, another type of shaking, yeah. Parkinson's is a damaged neural pathway. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This one we're talking, everything's healthy about it. Okay. It's just reducing stress. And when we talk to an audience, if I said to everyone here, have you ever experienced yourself, or do you know of somebody, when they got scared, they started to shake? We watch dogs in a thunderstorm do that, see? Yeah. So that shaking is so normal to the human body, and yet we dismiss it as though it's something wrong. We need to be excited about it and say, oh, how nice, your body's reducing stress today. That's a good thing.
Oh, that's a brilliant thing, because I remember in a certain context with a person who was in the hospital, was about to be discharged, and the leg of the person started to shake.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctor said, no, you are going to stay one more night,
Wow.
because this could be an epilepsy episode.
Oh, geez.
It
Yeah.
was not that. It
Yeah.
was just the happiness of going home.
Exactly right. Listen, watch this.
Why don't doctors know that?
That's my frustration, dear. I'm telling you. Why doesn't the medical system know something so simple and so pure in the human body? And this is a good example. You said that, is happiness. My brother was getting engaged to his girlfriend. He kneels down on one knee, and he's shaking as he puts the ring on her finger. And after she said yes, he stopped shaking, and she started shaking. And it was a perfect example of how the human body just discharges automatically this overexcited charge. It doesn't have to be from trauma. It can be from happiness.
Ah, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
So to be able to dismiss the stress,
Mm-hmm.
it's not necessarily to be a trauma. It's not necessarily to be in the war or
No.
something horrifying to happen
Right.
to us.
No.
A very unpleasant meeting with the boss, or an unpleasant conversation, or an unpleasant situation in the traffic,
Right.
is as well a traumatic, let's say,
Right.
at a certain level event.
Yes.
So they are working for us non-professionals, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So
Oh, yeah.
is it enough to read the book so that I would become somehow mastering these exercises for myself?
Yeah, I deliberately wrote the book for people with like an 8th grade education. I'm not writing it for scholars. And we put the exercises in the book as well. Now, they're safe to do as long as you don't dive into some horrible trauma you've experienced in life, and you're just trying to reduce stress and tension from everyday life. It's absolutely, it's not only good for you to do, it helps put in your life the pulsation that the organism is looking for to live in a calm state. As living beings, as humans, we are actually designed to self-regulate. We should not have high stress levels. We actually have mechanisms in us to reduce the stress as soon as it starts to elevate. So it's not about trauma. It's just the nervous system got highly charged, and when it does, it knows to shake, literally, the tissue of the body to reduce that anxiety.
When we are super stressed, we cannot sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And we are depriving ourselves of sleep, and
Right.
we have no idea how to relax and how to calm down
Right.
before sleeping. These exercises are as well functioning before going to bed. Are you telling us that we should do this kind of stress relieving before going to bed?
Yeah, I even have people do it in their bed. You don't have to do anything special about it. You can lay in bed, and I'll show you the position to take to activate the shaking. But all that, when we can't sleep, it means the sympathetic nervous system is highly activated, and the shaking is parasympathetic. And so it just simply calms down. It does two things. It relaxes the tightness in the body, and as soon as that tightness starts to let go, then the brain starts to calm down, because they're directly connected, see? And so I can help you calm down your brain by actually taking the tightness out of the tissue in the body.
I've heard a lot of, especially women, who
Mm-hmm.
are in high peak of their career, multitasking, saying, but if I'm releasing the stress, I will not be as functional as I am in this moment. I will not be as performant.
Right.
What can you tell them?
Well, that's a matter of, like you said, yes, some stress is very helpful because it does help performance, but also relaxing in stress, particularly women, helps them because when they go back and they relax, all of a sudden a new creative idea comes out that they didn't think of and couldn't think of during the stressor. So it's about creativity, letting go and relaxing, and then coming and putting that creativity into action. So it's still the balance of a parasympathetic and sympathetic. And quite frankly, since the audience is here, we only have one man, but I respect the man who's here, or two of them. Women are the ones who seem to be most available to doing this. And I think it's because women are also biologically moving back and forth between control and lack of control, from birthing and from periods in your cycle, you actually live your whole life moving into contraction and out of it. And so I find women much more available to say, well, let me try this and see if it works. Then they have to drag their husband or their boyfriends in, but usually the women are the first around.